So I'm
Good.
going to say, is it good evening for you, Joakim?
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm in Cyprus at the moment, actually.
Cyprus. Okay. Well, that goes in the direction of what I want to ask because usually when you're talking to a member of Sabaton, it's like, okay, one of the biggest bands in the world, here's the new record. But this week we find out world tour, US dates happening, etc. How long was that in
Yeah,
the works for?
a long time actually. We tried to get even more dates in, but scheduling and availability, and then you have to string them together. So there are a few places we wanted to play, like northwestern, obviously US and New York City, but getting venues of a decent size. You don't want to play too big or too small as well, so not all availables are really logical to play for you. So
Right.
unfortunately, we didn't get everywhere we wanted this time around, but we're still young enough. We're back. We'll be back.
You'll be back. And the last time I did a interview related to your band is with your drummer, and that DVD concert, one night only concert thing was happening. Do you think we might eventually see something filmed from this US tour?
I don't know if we're filming on this run, actually. I know we are filming one or two of the shows in the European run. I'm not sure about the
Oh,
US.
okay.
It's possible, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so Hordes of Khan, the new single, how long has that been done for?
Oh, the album was done over a year ago.
But
We've
I
been
mean the it being a single and having the video and all that, because it's not like it's a live performance video of a couple of guys
no,
playing in the studio.
no, not. It's quite the different thing. Yeah, I think we recorded. Let me think here in the winter earlier this year,
Mhm.
just before spring. Went to the Natural History Museum in London. Pat had this idea of you know, not a parody, but a spoof, a blink to a night at the museum bag thing. And he's like, well, where do we do that? And I instantly went, well, the National History Museum in London, of course, as a joke. And don't make jokes with Per about these things because he actually makes them happen. I don't know how he did it, but we actually went there and filmed at night. I mean, it's an open museum, so we could only get in like half an hour after closing time and set up everything, and then we could film until 2 at night, and then we'd have to, rinse and repeat.
Wow, was it a long editing process too, color correction and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously being there on such short notice or having such a short amount of time, and there's a limit when you're on a place like this, how much lights and what you can do and put up. You can't really move stuff that's doesn't fit. Then you go to a different location. So it's not like being on a set where you do whatever you want. So I think in the post production was a bit trickier for the crew who did the Adam and his guys, and Ollie was, I guess, editing it.
Well, that particular song is yet another learning, educational set of lyrics from your band, a very smart, history oriented band. So I'd have to imagine you're doing a lot of reading and research in your off time, meaning your day job involves the history, your hobbies include the history. Is there a number
Yeah.
two hobby? Is there anything you do that's not using your brain?
I don't know. It's funny that you mention it, but yeah, it's weird because I mean, originally I'm a keyboard player, Hammond organ and church organ and stuff like that. In Sabaton, I sing though, so if we have downtime, I love to play, and we sing about military history. But whenever we're not on tour, I love to read about history. It should be said though, it's not exclusively military history that we're interested in, at least for me. I mean, uh, it's highly suitable for our style of music, military history. But I'm
Mhm.
equally interested in the Medici family's history in Renaissance Italy.
Are there ties to historical societies and libraries for the band? In other words, do you have people going, hey, you'll never guess which document we found? You guys should see this?
Oh, no, we're not that deep into it. It's important to remember that even though we're very passionate about it, we're still amateurs. We do have connections within museums, archaeologists, and historians
Yeah.
that we consult from time to time. Uh, which is awesome, by the way. The historical, well, the history community of the world, no matter if it's from museums, historians, or archaeologists, are in general awesome people, and everybody wants the word out, sort of, and is really fighting to, bring that interest level up among the general population, I guess. Um, but no, we're not that deep in that we get private text messages at night from a archaeological dig in Egypt.
Well, just in case you need a librarian in New York, I volunteer. But
All
uh,
right, that's
what
good to
what
know.
I'm curious about with all that is we've started to see museum exhibits from major bands in the last 10, 15 years. The Rolling Stones had that exhibitionism. Was that something that you eventually see happening for your band, given that there's a lot of history, there's a lot of artifacts, yet there's tie-ins to all these kinds of historical and military related things?
Yeah, I mean, some of our stuff is in an exhibit in Stockholm right now, which is
Oh,
more not about history though, but about Swedish heavy metal. So we have one of our tanks, stage or drum riser tanks, is on site there now for that exhibition. But I don't know. I mean, we do have a lot of. It's going to be a mixed bag. That's the thing. There's going to be a lot of stage props that we could do, but
yeah.
also, we've been giving quite awesome gifts over the years from fans or historians, stuff that's borderline illegal to have in private ownership. So I don't know. I mean, it's all very special to us because it's close to us, but is it going to be relevant for anyone else? Yeah, maybe from a Sabaton fan perspective, but I do not think we have an impressive enough collection for it to be interesting for somebody from a historical perspective, because in that case, there are museums that are way more interesting than what we can offer.
So one of my favorite bands is Kiss. For better and for worse, one of my favorite bands is Kiss. And Kiss has that warehouse where they basically have everything that was ever given to them and every piece of merchandise. Is there a secret Sabaton warehouse where there's every single piece of history?
Not every, but almost. So yeah, it's a bit of a same thing. I mean, I think we can muster up about 90% of everything when it
Wow.
comes to every merchandise item and stuff given to us. We have a lot of stuff saved that our fans gave us, except the alcohol. We drank most of that. Um, but we have the bottle still if there was a special bottle involved in that. But stage props, yes. I mean, that's something we're running out of space. It's a huge warehouse and we're running out of space. And it's gonna be even worse when we're built the stage set for the upcoming tour. So we don't know what to do with it. But yeah, we could actually build a really interesting uh, visit, I guess, or exhibition of some sort for somebody who's a fan of heavy metal or stage productions, I guess, as well, because there's a lot of specialized
Hmm.
stuff which has smoke machines or pyro positions built into it, like 88 anti-aircraft guns and stuff like that.
Well, back to the whole US tour, North American tour that you have happening. A tour like that obviously is very different than a European tour. How the days laid out, all the social norms of American touring, which are just weird to anyone who's not living in Cleveland or whatever. But when you come on tour here, do you carve out time in the day where you go, I'm going to the museum, I'm going to the coffee place, or do you just sleep until 2 o'clock and then you're nocturnal?
No, I mean it is. I mean, America and Europe is different, but I mean, I made a calculation. I think on this tour, I'm passing 2 years of my life spent in the US if I haven't already passed, but definitely on this tour. So it's not like America is a alien or strange place to me by now. It's just different than home, and I genuinely love it. I've been around so many times now that I know, like, all right, Chicago, I know where I'm going for dinner tonight, or if one of my hobbies I like to do on tour is bring a camera and take photos because I get to see these amazing places. So I might sneak out and do anything of that. And America, one of my favorite things to do, hiking your national parks, amazing. Hoping to catch some new ones this time around.
Do you have that park pass passport thing where you collect the stamps?
Not this time around. I had couple of years ago when we were on tour with Judas Priest, the first time around in the US, when Richie had that aortic rupture and we had
Yes.
to stop the tour halfway through. Me and one of the guys from our crew, Pablo, stayed in the US and did some national parks, and that was amazing. So we had the card then because he had done it before. After his first US tour with us many, many moons ago, he stayed, I think. He rented a car and stayed in the US for 2 or 3 months, just driving between national parks, you know.
Wow. Okay. I've just learned so much that you are, in the best of ways, the kind of exactly the opposite of who we're seeing on stage. Were you always that way, or is that what you evolved to be because you realized that you couldn't be rock star guy like 24/7 and live?
Well, I don't know. I mean, stage Joakim and Joakim privately were very, very different people in the
Yeah.
beginning. Over the years, they've sort of affected each other for good and bad, you know. But still two distinctly different people. But I guess Joakim on stage these days is a stereotype or a caricature of, you know, me. It's still silly and stupid jokes, you know, and we do take history and what we sing about serious, but by God, we do not take ourselves serious in the band, you know.
My favorite example of that would be Rob Halford, where he has the stage yell, and then he's very soft spoken off stage. He loves cat videos on social media, and then on stage he's talking about leather and bikes and all that. So what I'm hearing from you is that originally very different, but you've kind of merged. So what we're seeing on stage isn't that different. There's just more reading off stage, more reading, more hiking.
Yes, more nerd, less action, you know. And then we disconnect the reading and put the drill sergeant voice in, and then we go, you know.
Sure. So, what was the band that made you realize that you could do this as a career? Is there like a defined one for you?
No, there's two moments, I guess. One is, so I'm 3 or 4 years old. This is when the music video for I Wanna Rock or We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister is coming out. Mom is in the kitchen. She hears me screaming from the living room. So she runs out thinking something's happened, you know. Ah, my kid is dying or something similar.
Yeah.
But it's just me freaking out like a monkey in front of the TV for to that video. And my mom, being open-minded, said basically, well, they kind of look like shit, but the singer's got a cool voice. So she got me Twisted Sister Stay Hungry album. And then ever since I've liked heavy metal, music has been with me. I love playing music, but having that as a career or as a
Mhm.
full-time job, I didn't really cross my mind until I actually was a professional musician. And I realized while being on stage in Athens, like, wow, here we are in Athens. We never been here before. I don't know how many people came, 300 maybe. So, I mean, not making fat money of it, but I realized that, you know, I haven't had another job in a year. I guess music is paying the bills. And I remember this happening while I'm singing on stage, this train of thought, you know, it's really weird situation.
Yeah.
So like, oh, I guess I'm a professional musician. I wonder how that happened, you know?
What was your job or your side thing that you were doing when you weren't on tour in those days?
Well, education were fiber optics and computers, electronics. Then further education was, well, here's a not the not surprising thing, sound engineering and broadcasting. Uh,
Wow.
and jobs was yeah, my latest job that lasted longer than, you know, 15 minutes, I guess, was a telecommunications company. Everything from patching phone lines, you know, the technician would call in to me and I would be on the computer telling him like, yeah, you go on that node and connect for that kind of, you know, cell service or whatever it was.
Wow. So not waiting tables and not bartending.
No, but I did a lot of customer service for that company as well, and reception at a power and energy company. I did it, you know, it was like if somebody told me I couldn't get time off to go on tour, I said, all right, I quit. Bye bye.
Well, I'm glad to see things have worked out and continue to work out. So, two more questions, and then you're free for me. And the first one is, what's the last concert that you actually went to for enjoyment and not because you might be brought up on stage?
Ooh, that was a couple of months ago at Sweden Rock Festival. Crimson Glory, American band, played,
Wow.
and amazing show. Great new lineup. Uh, Loved it, every second of it.
Sure. And the last question, what are you still hoping you might accomplish? And I say that because I look at your band and go, you're an arena band who can do a world tour. A lot of my favorite bands were arena level bands, but only in the US and Canada or only in England or something like that. You're a legitimate arena headlining band. You've had movie screenings and all that. It's this great thing. But is there anything you're still hoping will happen?
Yeah, I still want to learn how to write good songs, actually, but that'd be nice. Well, to be fair, yes, there are many places in the world we can play arenas, but we are kind of uneven. There are places where we play way smaller venues than that. But in a sense, I am not sad about it because I love the difference. I mean, we were in New Zealand recently, hence the tired Joakim and jet lagged one.
Oh, yeah.
It's first flight was over 17 hours long, and then another flight, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and our first time there, so fair enough. But I mean, it's a theater, smaller theater thing, and it was absolutely amazing. It sold out pretty quick, so we had to add another one the next day. And Australia, yeah, I mean, the bigger cities like Melbourne and Sydney, smaller arenas for sure. But Adelaide, Perth, no, that's theaters as well. And certain places in Latin America or Asia, we're not going to be on an arena level as well, which is really awesome because sometimes it's everything, whatever you do, gets boring, when you do it for too long. If you play the same show with the same production, I'd go crazy if we had the same thing and I had to say the same thing between every song and the same pyros or same effects. I mean, it's fine if we do it for a European tour for 6 weeks. Absolutely, I know that's part of the job. But one of the reasons I wanted to become a musician is that I didn't want to do the same thing every day.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad you're hearing you're living your goals on that end. But thank you for speaking with me. Thank you for the many years of great art. Looking forward to seeing you live in the States in the near future, and just keep up the intellectual power metal that you guys keep putting out.
Thank you very much, man, and thanks for having me.
Paltrocast.